It makes it a lot harder, you know, instead of running on a flat surface, you got to dig in and really push off and get out, you know, in the sand. So it helps with the speed and the endurance of the legs. I think mostly it's not really a conditioning thing for the wind aspect, but more so for strengthening the legs.
Yeah, big buzz around town about the name of the stadium, Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. You have any thoughts on that?
Not at the moment. You know, it's a sad situation. You know, it's something that could have easily been avoided. But, you know, I talked to Coach P, I've talked to other people, and I know that the administrative office and the guys upstairs are doing everything they can to get it fixed. So.
Has there been a lot of talk among the players about this stuff? Have you discussed it among yourself?
Not really. You know, everyone's noticed, everyone's seen, you know, the stuff on social media, and they've heard people talking about it, but we don't really do too much talking about it. You know, our main focus is when we get in between those two doors, you know, we go in and work, we grind, we get it in, get it out. So.
When you first heard about it, what went through your mind?
It was, you know, it was one of those things where, I mean, you don't expect it because you don't know anybody. I don't know him personally. I don't know his beliefs, but it's just something when you see it, you know, it's kind of, you know, this is a man who's representing, you know, us. So imagine me in a conference call or me in an interview saying anything along those lines. You know, it would be easy to offend a lot of people. So I was just slightly offended. You know, I know my teammates will say the same, but.
Are you pretty confident the university community will deal with it one way, you know, in a satisfactory way?
Yeah, I believe so. You know, it's you know, it's no secret that we've been under a lot of scrutiny over the past couple of years, and I feel like they've done a great job of handling everything, you know, one by one, taking it on the chin and moving on with it. So.
What do you want to see? What's the resolution that's good for you?
Anything. I mean, it's not really about me. You know, I'm here to play football, and main thing for me is grinding and get ready for Bama. So the rest of the stuff will take care of itself.
You mentioned you talked to Coach Petrino. What were his thoughts? What did he say?
We just talked about the administration, you know, them being able to handle their job. You know, he's basically saying he's talked to the guys in charge, and he knows they know our frustration. We know what they're going through. So it's just all, you know, mutually beneficial for us to just, you know, just let it happen how it happens. So.
Did you meet with him, or was there a phone call?
Phone call. Coach P called me.
Yeah. Has he called a number of players about this?
Nah, I think I might have been one or two other players, but yeah.
When was this? Last night? Or
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Jaylen, as a high-profile athlete, do you feel a responsibility to kind of use your platform and be able to speak your mind and take to social issues? I
don't feel any responsibility. You know, that's just the kind of person I am. And even when, you know, before I got here, before I was, you know, what they consider high profile, it's just a lot of people won't say a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of people are better with just laying in the shadows and letting stuff happen. And I feel like, yeah, me being able to use my platform is a plus. You know, me being able to express myself and not really fearing the consequence. You know, I'm not really concerned about what comes. If I say what's on my mind, it's meant for me to say it. If it doesn't need to be said, it won't be said. So.
Papa John has offered an apology. Do you accept it?
Yeah, I accept the apology. I told you I don't know him personally. I feel like everyone makes mistakes. You know, it's something that could have easily been avoided on his behalf, and I'm pretty sure many other cases of whatever's happened with him could have been avoided. But, you know, I accept this apology. I don't hold grudges.
What would you say to him if you had a chance?
I'd pray for him.
You mentioned Bama. Does that affect the way that you all prepare for a season when you know Bama's your first game?
Nah, we could play Bama or the Mississippi School of the Blind. I feel like we got a pretty decent workout regime that we go through, and it's tough regardless. You know, we're preparing for UNC Charlotte 2 years ago, preparing for Purdue last year, and preparing for Bama. It's all been the same. You know, it's not something you take lightly playing against anybody, you know. But I mean, you know, thinking about Alabama, it's not something you take lightly, but it's the same preparation.
Preseason magazines coming out these last couple of weeks. They haven't been too kind. Do you all look at any of that? Does it motivate you? Is that something that you think about?
I don't look at it. I seem to get a lot of tagged, you know, messages and stuff like that. People will tag me in it, and I think the fans get a lot more offended than I do. Like when they see receivers are better than me, or groups or teams, and I just let the chips fall where they may. I do my thing, and yeah, I let everything fall into place for me.
Almost every preview says, what are they going to do without Lamar Jackson? You know, what can they do without Lamar Jackson? So I'll ask you the same question. You know these guys better than we do.
Well, Lamar is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. We know that, but Puma's a once-in-a-lifetime talent too. They're two different players. They do completely different things, but they're both amazing in their own regard. So I feel like we'll pick up right where we left off.
As one of the vets on this team, what's your impression of how you guys are handling the offseason? Is it about the same, or are things looking better, or what's your impression?
I feel like we have more leadership this year. You know, a lot of the guys, especially PJ and Bannister transfer, we just broke the rock, and he's been working hard all summer since he got here last year, actually. And he's one of the more vocal guys, especially being able to be out there this year. And he's really taking control of the secondary. You know, being the guy who played in the Big 12 and came over here, brought experience, size, and I feel like he has a lot more leadership. You know, on my regards, I've gotten better about how I lead and how I present myself amongst my teammates, and I feel like we have a lot of guys stepping up.
A couple of the guys were throwing around on Twitter last night suggestions for a new stadium, Muhammad Ali Stadium, Lamar Jackson Stadium. If there were to be a name change, would that send the kind of message that you think would want to be sent? Possibly.
You know, like I said, the administration, I'm pretty sure they're doing everything they can with it. I don't know what'll go for if after, or if something happens at all, but I think they'll do a good job of handling that.
If there's not anything done, do you expect some kind of a protest by the players?
Nah.
Take a knee, anything like that?
No, we the best protest is going out there and busting our butts and playing football. You know, that's the only thing we can do. It's not much for me to sit out. You know, that's quitting on my teammates, because a lot of people might not feel how I feel. They might feel like they still play, and for me, if I was to be like that, it'd be extremely selfish of me, and I'm not that kind of person. So.
Jaylen, that story's kind of gotten some national attention. What do you kind of hope people in general can kind of learn from this whole situation?
I guess you could say a time and a place. You know, it's certain stuff you don't say, certain stuff you don't do, especially being in the position of a guy like that. You know, being in a position like I know stuff I can't say or do, and I'm sure you all have stuff I can't say or do, and because it can cost you a lot of money, a lot of potential business partners, and yeah, it's just time and a place.
Ever eat his pizza?
Sometimes, you know, they bring it up here, you know, but I wouldn't personally order it myself.
You're doing so good. All right.